Hey, Mark Meldrum, Northern Ohio Chevelle Club. It is mighty cold here in Northern Ohio for members that live out of state. There's snow on the ground. We're starting out the days about 14 degrees and it heats up to about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So we are down in studio, let's call this 2B for Meldrum's Monster Garage. We're down in the basement, and as you can see, I've got some projects behind me. Got the L99 head set in here. I've got Mike's LS6 70 Chevelle dash setting over there. But we are in a major holding pattern with a lot of my projects. One, it's too cold to get out in the garage and trying to conserve some cashola here. I'm not heating the garage up when it gets this cold. I just keep minimum heat on there so it doesn't freeze out there. But it gets mighty cold to work out there, so I just haven't been motivated to get out in the garage. Also, one of the things that we found out when Uncle Larry and I started putting the motor together, we couldn't get the crankshaft to really spin freely like I wanted it to. We took some further inspection on the number 2 bearing because we thought there may be some damage there. We took it over to a couple machine shops and Motorheads and K&B and came up with a plan of action there. So right now the aluminum block is at K&B. They're going to add some weld material into the number 2 pocket for the bearing on the crankshaft, and then it's going to go back to K&B because K&B has line boring machine. They're going to line bore that crankshaft again and hopefully get that block up to speed so I can get back to assembly. But we're probably looking at a couple weeks with the welder at Motorheads, and then probably a couple weeks more for line boring, just because of the schedule that everybody has right now. It seems like everybody's building motors. We're in the middle of winter, so guys got their motors torn apart, and it keeps the machine shops rather busy. Other projects we've been working on, you know, the 67 Chevelle SS that's out in my barn too. That's Mike Ely's car. You know, we put a motor and transmission in there just to get the thing easier to move around right now. Mike's got some wheels and tires that if I can get motivated and warm enough, I'll get those on the car and at least show you some pictures of that. But the original motor is with Uncle Larry. The original transmission is over at the tranny shop, and we were supposed to go visit that this weekend and get some shots over there at Johnny Five's transmission, but things fell through there. So Uncle Larry's down for the count, so he's got his back operated on this week. He's doing so-so, you know, that's a road to recovery there. So we're going to have to be ginger with him and not push him around and let the doctors tell him what he needs to do to get his back in shape. But man, we are really looking forward to getting Larry back in shape so we can get him in the garage and busy on some projects. One of the projects that Larry was working on was Mike's 67 Chevelle original motor. So another project that's kind of lagging on, you know, is you know, I've got the dash over here, this 70 LS6 Chevelle. You know, that's kind of lagging on too because it's at the painter right now with Paul Clark. Paul did manage to get a color code on the body, but still some additional work is required on the doors and the hood and the trunk before they can get a final coat of paint on there so everything matches up nice. We were supposed to go visit that yesterday, and things fell through with the painter and our schedule, so that didn't work out.
VP Report by Gerry Lorkowski.
Hey everybody, VP Gerry here with our February birthdays and anniversaries. Hope everyone's doing well and staying safe. Don't have a whole lot this month, so here's what we've got. On the 3rd, we have George Kevlowski and Bob Smith. On the 6th, we have Mike Gorski. On the 8th, Phil Dorr. On the 10th, we have Mark Kondrich. On the 12th, we have Grant Yeater. On the 13th, we have Don Bram. On the 14th, we have Larry Richardson and Violet Webb. On the 16th, we have Matt Freilich. On the 20th, we have Penny Terry. And on the 24th, we have Jeff Leamer. Our February anniversaries are, on the 11th, we have Jack and Amy Petrone. And on the 27th, we have Milt and Victoria Burns and Jim and Pat Umstead. From all of us to all of you, happy birthday, happy anniversary, have a great month. See you soon.
Yeah, we did manage to have a Northern Ohio Chevelle Club board meeting this week. So we had a Zoom meeting. We had Pat and Jerry and Joe and myself on the meeting. So we talked about some club business coming up. Of course, with our show coming up in August, we did dwell on that quite a bit. We're just going to have to figure out a different way to have the show. We've got about 165 people signed up for the show. That's cars. We've got about 280 or so people signed up for the banquet. And I don't think we're going to be able to have quite the banquets we've had in the past. We're talking about, how can we get this in more of an open air environment, maybe do something outside, maybe do something just a tad bit different. So I tell you, if you're planning to come to our show this year, it's not going to be like shows we've had in the past. This COVID is still getting us down. Vaccinations are coming out, and we look forward to getting things back to reality, or to the way things were, not reality, but the way things were in the past. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen. So we've got to plan for different things in the show and different way to run the show. So be patient with us as we come up with ideas, and think about it yourself. Give me some ideas as far as that goes, and we can mull that around with the club. We just did decide that we're going to limit the amount of people that we want to sign up for the show. We've bantering around some numbers, but we're not going to let this show get really huge this year as far as participants go. Now, who comes to the show? Hey, it's open to the public, so anybody can come to the show. It doesn't cost to see anything. So we've already got a fair amount of cars. We're not going to do a lot of advertising as far as the show goes. So if you're wondering why you're not seeing all this crazy stuff come out, we're kind of happy with where we're at 163 cars right now. We're not looking to grow the show too much. So, if you didn't get signed up and you're a member, that's who this video is going out to. Get your things in. We want to take care of members first. But as far as advertising to the general public and taking on more membership or more entries to that show, probably going to limit that at some point in the very near future. It probably will be under 200. So anyway, more as time goes on. We did talk about the Littlest Heroes show. That's a different format. So we're hoping to put some advertising out about the Littlest Heroes show in Columbia Station with dates. We've got Pat and Mel working on basically an advertisement for that, and that's where we stand with that. We had a treasurer's report, and I'm not going to give you figures, but we're not spending a lot of money. We did have some miscellaneous expenses that have come through to take care of members who had some health problems. We try to send out flowers or these incredible edibles. So if we hear about a member having an issue, we try to keep on top of that. and send them something. So Vi Webb has had some health issues. We sent her something, and we sent Uncle Larry something, and I think we bought some postage for sending things out. So that's about it as far as the treasurer's report goes. We stay steady. If you've been to our meetings in the past, you know what the balance is at, and it hasn't gone much from that. Also, Kim and Ed, members out of Connecticut, had a death in the family, and of course Deb and Ed had a death in their family, and we send our condolences out to those members. Very, very sad situations, and we send our condolences and the best out to the families there. So, okay, now. Okay, we've got elections coming up this year, and February is the time frame for when we elect for the board. And our board is simple. It's got a president, a VP, a treasurer, and a secretary. This year I have decided to kind of step aside as far as secretary goes, so the club will be looking to replace me. I'm not going to stop making my videos and being a club member, so you'll see that, but that will continue. But what the secretary is responsible for is, and we're going to change some of this in the bylaws, the first thing they're responsible for is all member data. We thought it was best to maybe get that information through the treasurer. The treasurer keeps track of all new members and what people's dues are and critical information there. So we're probably going to transition membership data to the treasurer in our bylaws. And yeah, we do have bylaws, and we send them out to all the new members. It's only 4 pages long. It's pretty simple. That's the way we wanted to keep this club simple. So they're responsible for correspondence, which I do quite a bit of throughout the year, newsletters and meeting minutes, activities. Also report in each meeting the minutes from the prior club. Secretary is also responsible for publication of a monthly newsletter and will ensure that the newsletter includes new and old business and any other pertinent information concerning the club and its activities. The secretary may perform duties of the VP in case of their absence. So, hey, It sounds simple, but there's a lot to it. And maybe if you're interested in becoming the secretary, this is a good year to transition, especially as far as our show goes, because all the records for the show are basically complete, and it will be easy to transition to somebody. We're looking for somebody that has computer skills, obviously, an interest in keeping everybody up to date, somebody that can work on Excel and Word and maybe PowerPoint is definitely a plus, because it helps keep track of all the information when we put our shows together and communicate with other organizations. So, hey, I've been doing this for the past 15 years, and I think it's time to get some new blood into this. We got some new blood into the treasurers a couple years ago with Pat taking over. So maybe now is, as I look at it, maybe a good time for me to step aside and let somebody else with interest in helping out with the Northern Ohio Chevelle Club can do this. So let me know. We got to get nominations in February and make a transition by voting in March, and then make a transition to the new leadership in April. So that's how that'll go. All right, so that's all I got. A lot of rambling. Maybe I'll move this around through the newsletter so you don't have to listen to it all at once. Mark Meldrum, Northern Ohio Chevelle Club Secretary. Hey, Mark Meldrum, Northern Ohio Chevelle Club. Out here in Meldrum's Monster Garage, listening to some proper 1967 music. Why we look at this 1967 SS Chevelle owned by Mike Ely. You might notice we've got some different wheels and tires on the car this weekend. So the 14-inch red lines are setting under the bench there. And out back we've got some Avenger GT 275/60 R15 on a nice powder-coated wheel. And in the front we've got a 225/60 R15 on a powder-coated wheel. So these are 15x8 wheels. I think they look real nice on the car. Nice retro look to the car. And Mike also bought a pair of racing slicks. Now we don't have those on the car yet, but we'll be able to change those out when we eventually get this car to the racetrack, back to its former glory. Won't that be cool? And you might notice, hey, the L99 all aluminum 6.2 liter V8 should be sitting right here. Should be on the engine stand. But we had to take that over to a couple engine shops, and we need to get some repair work done on that before we can get it back in the 66 Chevelle. So in the meantime, we're trying to warm the garage up. I turned the furnace off so I could do this video. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight this car, say hello. I know it's been a couple weeks since I've been yakking at you, and you're probably glad of that. But finally decided to warm it up a little bit out here and try to do a little bit of work here. So stay healthy, stay COVID-free. Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage. See ya.